Happy Sundays with Cinnamon.
I'm going to say like I do with my grandkids. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
When I go in the house, that's how I announce that Boom Boom is there. That's what they call me. Hello, everyone. And they jump off the couch.
It's the best. I love that.
Yeah, and I said that to you all because I love you and because it's such a joy to do this.
For me, too.
Because for me, it's Sundays with you guys.
Aw. So today what I wanted to speak about was your husband that has passed and racism, because he is an African-American, or was an African-American
Still is,
man.
probably.
Still is, probably.
He liked that about himself.
And can you show the picture of him, Sin?
Sure.
Let's show this. Here he is. There's Papa.
Yeah, we called him Papa. Actually, even men called him Papa because he was that kind of personality. He liked to take care of people. You know, like a Hemingway character. They called Hemingway Papa. And I liked it too. And of course, his grandchild, Freedom, was crazy for his Papa. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's quite a guy.
He is.
Still is, because now, when he was here, I was his teacher. Now he takes care of me, and I'm so glad about that.
And he actually came to you and said that he was my guardian angel as well.
Absolutely. He said, you all know about the cancer in the eye and all of that.
Of mine.
And one day he came and told me to tell Kathleen, I'm in that eye. And I thought, okay then. I couldn't wait to tell her.
Which made such sense to me too, and that's a whole nother story. So I wanted to speak about the difficulties or the challenges of marrying someone of a different color.
Wow. It's hard to believe in this day and age that that's even a story to tell. And yet, years ago when we first moved into our house in Tempe, gosh, that's about 20 years ago, the next morning after we moved in, we stepped out and almost stepped into a pile of defecation, and it wasn't dog, it was human. I mean, you know the difference between the two, at least we did. And they TP'd the trees in the front yard and all of that, and it was startling because my heart just went out to anyone that would have that kind of hateful mischief. Now, if it had just been TP, it would have been, what crazy kids, you know. And and the other was just so challenging in that there had to be so much animosity to do such a thing. And to know that that's in the world makes us have to commit even more to loving and serving those who are in such distress. You know, you think, oh, I want to hang out with the people who think the way I do. It's important to hang out with the people who don't, so that you can better understand their pain, because it's only pain and surrendering to suffering that creates that kind of behavior. Without a doubt. And I'm talking about the Dahmers of the world and all of these people who do aberrant things because they are wanting to avoid suffering, and then they create suffering, you know, because what you resist does persist.
Well, I wanted to tell you something that was just, I didn't shock myself with it, and I'm not going to mention the person, even though this person would never watch Sundays with Cinnamon anyway.
So says you.
Okay, so says May.
Save a seat for that person.
Okay.
Okay.
And yesterday we were speaking about the fact that you did marry a black man, and what that person said was, what a stupid woman you were, and used the word stupid. And because it would only make your life more difficult to do such a thing.
Bring it on is what I say. It wasn't difficult. Love, it wins.
Doesn't that contribute to racism, though? Even though this person so would just be appalled because so does not think that they are racist. Doesn't that contribute to racism to say, hey, don't marry someone of another color because that's only going to make your life harder? You know, parents that say this to their own children.
Oh, I thought, I was misunderstanding you. I thought your question was, doesn't marrying a black man contribute to racism?
No.
Okay,
No,
that's
no,
the way
no.
it sounded, so
Really?
I wanted to clear that
Oh.
up before we went
Heck
any
no.
farther.
No.
Yeah.
No. Doesn't it contribute to racism when someone says, hey, don't marry someone of another color because your life will be harder?
Well, you have to understand that often that's how people take care of their own, you know.
No, and I know they're doing it out of the innocence or ignorance.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Because
you
it
just
is-
answered your own question.
Yeah. I mean, it is true that your life could have more challenges, and then you could say what you said, bring it on.
Bring it on. That's why I painted this target on my chest, because I wanted people to have a place to vent and be
Says bless.
unload all of that. What is that? It's such, I want to say grief, pain. I don't even like to label it as other than just pain that they're wanting to avoid by making themselves righteous or not tapping into who they really are. Because who we really are is all the same. So if you've distracted yourself and chosen to believe otherwise, you have, some of us have to shine a light and say, oh, here you are. And then you have to decide if you want to stand in the light or if you came here to challenge me to stay in the light.
Yes.
That's possible too.
Because
According to the way I see life about the contract,
explain the contract real quickly for those that didn't
for
see.
me, we sign a contract with life. We tell God much. In Neil Donald Walsh, I always say he wrote my book because I have believed in this contract with all my heart for some time. And then he wrote a children's book called Little Soul in the Sun, and in it explains what I know to be so for me is the contract you have with life. You say to the power of love, I want to go in and I want to be an example of forgiveness or whatever it is you want to be an example of. And the Creator says, now wait, are you sure about love? For instance, I came into incest and all manner of madness, and I know I can still recall in my cell memory that warning. Now, are you sure you want to do this? And yeah, I want to do it. Then, becoming human, we are in a process of forgetting and remembering, because the minute they turn the lights on in the delivery room, if you're a boy, you get a blue hat. If you're a girl, you get a pink hat, and then the programming begins. She'll carry dolls.
Which goes into it's only human nature, and it's not human
No.
nature, it's programming.
You're right. Your true nature is spiritual and loving. That's your true nature. And we have to get back to our true nature once we've been programmed. That's why I love teaching the children, the Sunday Children's Program, because these kids have just recently been the light. And because we have chosen to help them remember who they really are, they don't have to become 30, 40, 50 years old sitting in a classroom wondering, who am I? Because they're the light, and they will shine, and they will change politics and medicine. They will bring that back to the art form that it was meant to be, and we can have a different world. Not through politics as it is. That has to be raised to the ground. And today is the perfect day to say that, because they just shut down the government because one egotistical faction versus another egotistical faction did not make the whole their priority. So we won't do it through politics until we raise politicians and doctors and lawyers who have heart for love for humanity and are willing to make laws and judgments and whatever it takes to create a balance. I don't even say create justice, because that gets too close to the fair unfair thing. Just balance.
Wow.
Wow, you say.
That's, that's some good stuff, Miss Lofton.
Yeah,
Or I should say Mrs. Lofton.
Yeah.
Because you'll always be Mrs.
it's true. That's true.
And I really wish I could have met Papa.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have. You've met him through me. You've met him in this smile. You've
And-
met him through freedom, certainly.
And Freedom, why don't you explain Freedom? Because
Freedom. He's my grandson, and our grandson. And Papa would have fought any man who said he wasn't his grandson. They weren't blood ties, although it's uncanny how much they look alike. It's just uncanny. And they were just little soulmates. In fact, one of the things Papa said to me once that I said, I'm going to take that as a compliment, was, I know now why we're together.
Oh,
I said, really?
oh.
Yeah, and because he was in Detroit on a ledge, ready to jump out of a building, and the Holy Spirit said to him, "You're not done. You're not done." And so he stepped back from that suicidal tendency. And I can tell you this about him that I adore. I didn't fall in love with him because he was, and he was at the time head engineer at Garrett, this airplane place. And I never did know much what he did. He examined the faulty parts that brought planes down, and so he was always scanning the paper about which plane went down and was it a Garrett part and so forth. So that didn't impress me like his story. When I first went out with him, and you tell each other the stories. He was on the street for 10 years. They used to call him professor because he had all this education. He was an alcoholic on the street. Used to wash himself in gas station bathrooms and such. And that's what I fell in love with. And we were in Tempe, which is a bedroom community of Phoenix, and I thought, you are the Phoenix. You rose from those ashes to this, and that's what I fell in love with.
We need a how-to Sundays with Cinnamon for that. How in the heck did he do that?
Oh, very one step at a time-ish, very painstakingly. And we lived very well, thank you, by the time he got to me.
And so what did he say about transients? And how we should treat them?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Or how we could treat them?
Yeah, because Robin, our cop daughter, used to say to him, "Don't give them money because they're only going to go buy a bottle of booze with it." And he just said, "Rob, after I give it, it doesn't matter to me. If they find 10 minutes of comfort in a bottle of booze, or they decide to take this to AA or whatever they do, I've been there in that place, and I want to pay it forward." So, and I keep, in his name, I keep this envelope of dollar bills in the side of my car. And as often as I see them on the street or whatever, I make sure that I give that with all my heart. What you do with it, you do with it.
Well, thank you, Cinnamon, and thank you, Papa, for just blessing us with your
For
presence.
being here, right?
Because
yeah. And still being here.
He is. He's so here.
Yeah.
And he was here with that Sundays with Cinnamon that I did on Vanity when the ring hit
Yeah,
the
yeah,
table
yeah,
that he
yeah.
gave me. And
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure getting to know him in spirit form.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Because love is forever.
Yep. It endures all things.
That's it.
Goodbye, guys. We
Bye,
love
everyone.
you.
Thank you so much for
Happy
listening in.
Happy
Yeah.
Sundays with Cinnamon.
Bye.
Bye.